There are some clubs already. I mean, I was at a game over the weekend, Crewe versus Bolton, and I was talking with some of their supporters at Crewe Alexandra in the Midlands, and they were telling me the club's now owned by the fans.
Wow.
They've bought the club as a consortium. So down in the lower levels of football, where there is struggle for money and cash, not necessarily the Premier League, that there's already supporters that actually own clubs or have major stakes in clubs. John Terry recently announced that Chelsea fans should have at least a 10% golden share in Chelsea Football Club as we move forward. That's fine, but the problem is it's an auction that's happening now. Chelsea's for sale. It's got one of the best brands in the world. They're world champions, European champions. There's 6 bids coming in from multi-billionaires all around the world. And some of them might not be in agreement to giving 10% of their shares away to supporters. So again, this needs to be debated. Newcastle, going back 12 months ago when the proposed takeover for the Saudi Arabian consortium that eventually bought it was announced, there was a lot of opposition against this. Where's the money coming from? Who is the benefactor? Is it the right thing to do? And it got beyond the club. It got beyond the remit of Newcastle, and it went up to the Premier League and to the Football Association. And then all of a sudden you start to talk about due diligence. Because people have got money doesn't necessarily make them the right owner of a particular brand. The problem with football is that in some areas, clubs are desperate for money. And if due diligence is not undertaken properly, then all of a sudden you'll find the owner is not the right sort of person for the club and the brand. And of course, I think, since Newcastle, we've now had Chelsea facing a similar problem. And clearly it's bigger than any club. So I think, the Premier League and the Football Association really, in their wisdom, need to set about giving some clubs some guidelines and some plans and some policies in terms of what is acceptable and what's not acceptable as we move forward into the future.